Dark in the city, night is a wire. Steam in the subway, earth is a fire. Woman, you want me, give me a sign. And catch my breathing even closer behind. In touch with the ground, I'm on the hunt, I'm after you. Smell like a sound, I'm lost in a crowd, and I'm hungry like the wolf. Straddle the line, discord and rhyme, I'm on the hunt, I'm after you. Mouth is alive, juice is like wine, and I'm hungry like the wolf. Stalk through the forest, too close to hide. I'll be upon you by the moonlight side. I'm like drumming on your skin, it's so tight. You feel my heat, I'm just a moment behind.
A lot of the bottlenecks in terms of rolling things out are taking the wind and the solar and saying, okay, why can't we go faster? And France has done some things to try and get that permitting process to be better. The European grid is going to have to be, about 3 times bigger than it is today, and the rate of addition to that grid is way below, what's going to be necessary. No country is doing the grid as fast as they should, not China, not the US, but we all need to spur each other on in order to do that piece. For cars, the high end of the car range, the electric cars are great today. It's much harder if you park on the street or the low end, and so we have to keep driving that innovation. So across every area of innovation, consumers can help us by stretching to buy an electric car if possible, or an electric heat pump, or food that's made a low emissions way. So it's the government, but not the government alone. It's the rich companies and the consumers are going to drive us. So the rich countries owe it to the world not only to reduce their emissions, but to drive down the cost of these green products.
There's like entrepreneurs out there that want to have like a guaranteed chance of success. It would be refining lithium as a no-brainer.
Okay. Now can you guys hear me? I wasn't on the screen. I was talking the whole time. I've done this. I did this yesterday too. Check 1, check 2. Wow. Well, at least I didn't get too far into it. I just need a microphone check from one of you guys now. Good morning, Sweet Tea. Good morning, See No Evil. I'll say that again, since I'm sure nobody heard me the first time. Yeah, it's definitely the wacky weed, See No Evil. You're not wrong. But anyway, I hope you guys can hear me now. Let me make sure that I don't have my Bluetooth on. But so the first video that I played was Bill Gates talking about, okay, you can hear me, was tripling the amount of power for this net zero. So he's saying that Europe needs to, and by the way, sorry guys, good morning, Sweet Tea, good morning, See No Evil. So Bill Gates talked about we need to triple the amount of power. He says that, and in order to, to achieve that, cars being parked on the street somehow are going to hinder his operation. So we could buy electric cars to help them out, I guess, so they can just remotely move them off the streets. And he's talking about food made with without, methane or whatever. I can't remember what he said there, but basically fake meat. So you have him saying that, and then my theory has been that they're going to go to war with Venezuela because of the lithium. And then now here we have Elon Musk saying that the demand for lithium is going to grow by 5 times in the next 15 years by 2040, which that already means it's now. They need the lithium now. So I'll show you guys something.
In one of the most isolated regions on Earth, Armando Ibiza Flores shovels salt under an unrelenting midday sun. For this work, Armando and his co-workers will earn $7 a day. The men see promise for the future, not in the salt they collect at the surface of these flats, but in the lithium metal that lies beneath it. In Michigan, the spiritual home of the American car industry, another team of workers is preparing to make history. Engineers with General Motors.
This documentary was many years ago. Let me see here. 14 years ago, but it's actually longer than that when this was taking place. Lithium batteries have been around for a long time.
Motors are inspecting the giant lithium-ion battery packs that'll power the new Chevy Volt. Tony Posawatz is the lead engineer of the Volt. The plug-in extended range vehicle is expected to go on sale to the public in December 2010.
It'll be the first mass-produced, mass-marketed electric vehicle. We intend to set a few records in the process because this is such a revolutionary, transformational vehicle.
Revolutionary it may be, but other car manufacturers are close behind. High in the country's Andes Mountains, the Salar de Uyuni stretches more than 10,000 square kilometers, making it roughly the size of Lebanon. Deep into this vast tundra of salt, another cluster of workers separates lithium from other elements. This small project here is Bolivia's first foray into lithium extraction.
Si bien Bolivia es un país minero.
Bolivia is a country with a mining tradition for gold, silver.
Okay, so you have an entire continent of people that, are, expecting to supply the world with lithium and, make their economy great. And I just feel like we're going to go in there and take it from them, just like we do every other place. Good morning, Don. Good to see you. So, that documentary was a long time ago. And, the thing with Bolivia is that they don't give up their lithium. They don't sell it to, they're very controlling over how much lithium they sell and who mines it and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of like a culture thing almost, but they literally have, over 1 trillion. They said that it's the size of Lebanon, that lithium field. So it's the size of an entire country. And so it's definitely, it's wartime. That's what they're going to do. Tommy, good morning, sir. Good to see you. Thank you for stopping by. There's the ultimate Italian, Mr. Stigliani. Good morning. Yes. Yeah, we are blessed to have him here. So that's what I feel is that's what I feel is going on with that, guys. I'm going to move on from that, but keep your eye on Venezuela, because that's where they're going to go in from. That's the entry point, and then Bolivia is right next door. And then this is so important, that $1 trillion worth of lithium, that it involves everybody: Russia, Iran, China, all the major players. This is New York City. Yesterday, pro-Palestinian marches are ramping up as the country wakes up to the fact that we're completely controlled by Israel. The support for Palestine is growing. Right or wrong, this is what's happening. Cotrain's in the house. Did not see him. Did I miss Cotrain? There he is. What's up, Cotrain? Good to see you. Don Cotrain. See here. Tommy, great podcast yesterday with Thindu. Yep. And the Yankees won yesterday, right? Yankees came back. They were down. They came back and won. The Mariners won. So the Mariners are up 2-1. The Yankees are 1-2, still alive, which is good. Oh, and I'm sorry, guys. Let me wake up here. I need another sip of coffee. I wasn't even sharing the screen of the protest. We're back on it now. This is New York City yesterday. So whether you're pro-Palestine or not, what you will not see in this country is you will not see giant Israeli flags of Israel, being walked down any street in America in support of Israel. It's just not going to happen. People are absolutely fed up with this shit. And I got more important things to do than go down there and hold a Palestinian flag. I think that, like I always say, that I think that it's a trick. Left, right, up, down, Republican, Democrat, black, white, China versus United States. It's just division. Israel, Palestine, it's all the same shit. But, I'm not with it. I'm not with fucking the control that Israel has on us. And that motherfucker is threatening the United States now. I have videos on that too. So, it is what it is. The support for Palestine is growing, and they're actually knocking on the windows of BlackRock now too in protest, which I think saying fuck BlackRock, which I'm in support of that. I'm not saying I'm in support of this, but I'm not against it either. My views are kind of changing day by day. This guy, I'll play a second of this. When it comes to the fucking propaganda, what you won't see Israel flags, being marched like this through America. But you do hear a lot about the conspiracies and how they control us and all that kind of stuff. So what's my point? Hold on. Let me get my train of thought here. Let's listen to this guy. He's calling out Laura Loomer. Laura Loomer attacked Candace Owens. She is an Israel. She's one of those people that is. She's an Israeli influencer. Like, she's a spokesperson for Israel. And these people will just straight up fucking attack you if you say anything they don't like. You don't even have to say something they don't like. If you're not saying enough of things that they want you to say, they'll fucking attack you. And these people are fucking weird, man. And I've been calling out Laura Loomer for a long time. And this guy is dead. He was his name is hold on. Isaac Cappy. He was an American actor and musician. Gained notoriety for his small film roles and later become involved in a series of online conspiracies. Apparently, he jumped off a bridge and committed suicide. But this was a while back, and it's funny that he talks about Laura Loomer way back when.
Guys, all over the place. Jack Posobiec, Gabe Hoffman, Mike Cernovich, Laura Loomer. Gabe Hoffman is running ops on people. He is a bad guy, dudes. I look like I've seen a ghost. Yeah, I have. And someone that was very close to me. I'm pretty sure they were just there to infiltrate me. These are really fucking bad people, and I'm beyond pissed. I don't even know how to describe the feeling inside of me.
And so it's a 3-minute video. And when I watched that, I just thought about it, like, how would I have reacted to a video like that 2 months ago before Charlie Kirk was assassinated and everything that I've learned and now, it holds a lot more weight now, what he's saying. And that guy's dead. They ruled it a suicide that he jumped off a bridge. But you think about what happened with Charlie Kirk. He was betrayed by people that were really close to him, and they're still lying about it. So rabbit hole to go down if you want. Magooch, what's going down? Thank you for subscribing and stopping by. So I just thought that was interesting, that guy. I'm not going to get too much more into that one. But so Alina Habba, who she's like a U.S. attorney. And now, speaking of Laura Loomer, she comes out and what's her name? Anna Paulina is who I'm thinking of. Came out and said, hold on. I just spoke with Congresswoman Alina, but she tells me that she has received evidence that China funded one of the groups under FBI investigation for ties to Tyler Robinson in a Discord, where they may have discussed his plans to assassinate Charlie Kirk. And so anytime that Laura Loomer comes out and supports it, that theory, you already know it's fucking bullshit. Of course it was Israel that had Charlie Kirk killed. I mean, it's fucking obvious. It's completely fucking obvious. And then now they want to fucking blame it on China. And Anna Paulina, I don't know if you guys know who she is. She was on Joe Rogan not too long ago and basically saying, trust me, bro, I've seen evidence of aliens. And I can't say too much about it, but I've seen it. Okay. I've seen the declassified blah, blah, blah. So you can look that up about, her interview on Joe Rogan podcast. So although she's got, she's very good looking and very well spoken, I don't trust her for shit. And I don't believe China had anything to do with Charlie Kirk. Was doing cuisine, Nada doing coffee and cigarettes, right on. Well, not right on the cigarettes, but right on the coffee. Okay. So David Icke, he's always calling everybody out. He don't trust nobody either. And, so Christine Nome was in Portland, Oregon, and she, well, just listen to this real quick. They got a pedophile off the streets.
Madam Secretary, the people of Oregon support you and support President Trump, and we thank you for coming out. We thank you for coming out. There are so many more people that support you guys here than you guys know, even moderate Democrats that are tired of this radicalism. So thank you, ma'am. And just to confirm, you said that man was a sex offender and illegal.
And I asked him what crime he had committed, and it was against a minor, so it was against a child. And from now on, he will no longer be able to do that. He said he's come into this country illegally 5 different times over the last several years, and now he will be brought to justice, and he'll never be allowed to become a citizen of the United States because he waited until we had to arrest him, punish him for his crimes, and deport him out.
Thank you.
Well, I have many thoughts on that. Here in the Pacific Northwest, we have, and I just feel it in my bones, and I've seen it at the mall. My daughter said something a couple months ago about some dude that came up behind her and my daughter. I was actually on my way there anyways, but there's so many fucking creepy people in Washington State now. I mean, we have a history of, like serial killers, Ted Bundy, Gary Ridgway, the Green River Killer. There's just a ton of them. But I just feel because of all the laws and, the transgender and all that kind of stuff, that they have just all flocked here from everywhere. Like, this is just one of those places where you'll find a whole bunch of them. And it's just disgusting. So hopefully this isn't a dog and pony show and they're really going to go round up. I mean, if you're here, do they have to be illegal to be rounded up as a sex offender? You know what I mean? Like, let's fucking round them all up. So, but David Icke, his take on it was they actually want praise for arresting an alleged child abuser while her master desperately hides the Epstein files. They have no shame. So, of course, he's referring to, her boss being Donald Trump and that he's, covering up the Epstein files, which he is. I mean, does anybody dispute that? Whether you like Trump or not? Of course he's covering it up. I mean, we're not stupid. You're covering why he's covering up and what he's covering up. I mean, is anybody's guess. But he's definitely covering it up. I mean, the way he even talked about Ghislaine. Who are you talking about? Ghislaine Maxwell? Oh, I haven't heard that name forever. I don't know. I'll have to look. I'll talk to the DOJ about it. I guess, maybe I guess we could, look at pardoning her because, now, they came out and said there was no trafficking of kids or anything. Nothing happened at all. So, yeah, I haven't heard that name in a long time. The fuck out of here, Trump. Osada, the malls are a big hub for them. Oh, 100% Magooch. My daughter was involved just for a couple of years in modeling and stuff like that. That's like one of the gateways for that type of shit. It's the modeling agencies. They got those creepy motherfuckers backstage just waiting. Yeah, it's sickening. And you're talking about the malls for the pedophiles too. Yeah, no, it is. It's where they go. So my daughter and my granddaughter were in the food court and a dude who, we're open carry, he has a gun on his side, like a side firearm. He comes up behind my daughter and goes, "Hey, you see that guy over there? I think he's a pedophile." That's what he says to my daughter. And it freaked my daughter out. The guy that even said that. She didn't even know who he was talking about. And then when I got there, I could tell right away that motherfucker that said that was a fucking creepy. He was the fucking pedophile. And he had a gun on him. And I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, this is at a, I just, everybody was safe and there was nothing, I didn't have a gun on me, and it's not going to be a shootout at the mall. It's just like at that level, you're like, okay, this is a super fucking dangerous situation that, that story's not done being written. You can't be a creepy motherfucker like that and be allowed to carry a gun around in a normal society. That's how bad it is here in Washington State. Sorry for going off on a tangent. Pam Bondi, the U.S. Attorney General, who, in my opinion, I just wish she would just step down. I really do. I think she's very incompetent, completely compromised. She's incapable of doing an honest job because she's so sold out to Big Pharma and Israel.
The National Guard is on the way right now as we speak. Oh, by the way, so is Director Patel and Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. You're sitting here grilling me, and they're on their way to Chicago to keep your state safe.
Madam Attorney General, it's my job to grill you.
Yeah, Madam Attorney General, it's fucking October, and you're still talking like that. You don't do anything. How is it October and you're talking like this? She's done nothing. This lady has done nothing. They promised us and Kash Patel's on his way. What's he going to do? Lie again? Day one, we're going to release the Epstein files, and then look at how they handled the Charlie Kirk thing. They completely are fucking lying about it. Completely 100% bullshitting us to the core. And I just wish she would just go away. I wish she would just step down and go away.
Now, ballistic missiles that are Iran is developing now. Ballistic missiles that are intercontinental ballistic missiles for 8,000 kilometer range. What does that mean? They add another 3,000 kilometers, and they've got under their atomic guns, in New York City in target, Washington, Boston, Miami, Mar-a-Lago. Okay, so that is a very great danger.
Look at the look on his face when he is talking about how Iran could send nuclear weapons to and detonate them on Washington, D.C. and New York and Mar-a-Lago and Miami. Look at the look on his face. Who is he? Why do we need him to tell us what Iran is capable of? He's just, this guy, man, ugh. Cannot fucking stand this guy, man. He is literally smiling talking about that shit.
So that is a very great danger. You don't want to be under the nuclear gun of these people who are not necessarily rational and who chant death to America. Iran is developing now.
Washington is open carry. That doesn't fit the rest of the left agenda, right? Well, the thing here is, Sweet Tea, it's just such a small artificial bubble that they created. Geographically, this state is 100% red and all open carry. Literally 100% of Eastern Washington, except for if it's a college. Every college in America is compromised. So you have like the woke libtard ideology in the colleges. So if you take away the college campuses, it's 100% red. And then once you get on, the west side of the mountains, then, of course, the cities are all liberal, but Eastern Washington, where it's, desert and, there's a lot of open land and, everybody open carries over there. Not everybody, but a lot of people do, But Yeah, it does not fit the narrative, and most people here do not open carry, which is why it's so crazy that you have a sex offender, like literally like some fucking pervert, walking around with a gun when normal people don't in this state. You know, because it's not this state is not a good. It's not a good idea to try to defend yourself in this state because you'll go to jail unless you're like a trans person or an illegal. It's crazy town here. Yep. So there's Benjamin Netanyahu saying that, add 3,000 more miles and they can fucking blow the shit out of us. Let me fucking smile about it. So this is New York and this is the BlackRock headquarters. And these are pro-Palestinian protesters. Now, you don't got to be pro-Palestinian or pro or anti-anything to fucking hate BlackRock, in my opinion. I mean, I think we should all be in front of those headquarters saying fuck BlackRock. I don't know how far we can go without promoting violence, but that Larry Fink guy, man, he's another. They're just fucking absolute satanic devils, snakes that they don't deserve to have power like they do. So Kristi Noem, we know she was in Portland. We just watched her. She's the Department of Homeland Security or whatever she does. She met with the Portland police chief, who is a red-haired libtard gremlin, and she literally made him cry. She's walking out right here, and then he's back here behind the military guy. You'll see him in a second crying.
I'm going to give this to somebody. Yeah. I really can't.
He just got his fucking ass handed to him. So I don't know what she said to him, but I'm all about it. Yeah, BlackRock owns everything. They own everything. And it is Soros' friends. You're right. All right. Here we have another little thing of Benjamin Netanyahu.
Let me first start with the America First. That's a natural position. Would be unnatural to have a different position. But America First doesn't mean America alone, because all countries need allies. Superpowers need allies. China has allies. Russia has allies. And if you're without allies who may develop the technologies that are needed for your defense, or the technologies that are needed for your offense, or the intelligence to save your lives, why forfeit yourself of these allies? The problem that you've had over the years, the United States, is that you didn't have these allies pulling their weight. And Israel is an ally. It's a fighting ally that pulls its weight. Not only that, not only do we fight, we don't ask for Americans to bring boots on the ground. We've done the job of defending ourselves pretty well, I'd say, over the last 7 years.
You don't ask Americans to put boots on the ground? Didn't you guys orchestrate 9/11, which led to the death of how many tens of thousands of Americans and made prosthetic companies rich because their limbs were blown off? And there's tens of thousands of veterans here that have major PTSD and psychosis and committed suicide and all kinds of shit from what they've seen over there. What about that? You guys didn't have anything to do with that when you orchestrated 9/11? I mean, Jesus Christ. This guy, he has no fucking shame in this game whatsoever. And it's just another threat. Why would we forfeit an ally that could potentially, develop technologies that would fucking kill us? So this was in 2020 when COVID first hit. This is Brandy Cruz. Love her. She's, only the real reporter we have here in Seattle, one of them. And this was the Seattle Chop Zone, Chaz, they called it. I don't know if you guys remember the autonomous city that Antifa had back in 2020. Play a little bit of this real quick.
Fuck these guys, bro. 213 fucks my ass. Fuck that shit. The fuck.
Hey guys,
it's the real news. It's the people out here.
They can say whatever they
fuck
want. It's not a big
Republicans.
deal.
Fuck Donald Trump and fuck Fox News. Fuck Fox News, man. We
We're
out
not
here,
on,
bitch.
so nobody's saying you.
The hell?
But keep rolling. Keep rolling.
Keep going. Hey, this part of the protest.
No, they can do whatever they want. They're fine.
Watch when they give us false info, false news, fake news. Nah, bro, none of that shit. Y'all part of the problem.
If you're down here, you don't care about what's happening
You're
up
part of
there.
the media, right? You can get a job as an independent news source. You can go to Northwest School down the block and spread some real shit. But you in it on the money, bro.
All right, that's enough of that. So my theory is he also lied about weapons of mass destruction. Sure did. Seattle's no joke. Portland is a joke. Portland is where literally they have clown college. Steve-O, you guys remember him from Jackass, literally went to clown college in Portland, Oregon. It's where, probably have the most coffee shops per capita other than Seattle. But it's where people just, it's liberal, ground zero for liberalism. It literally is the clown show. Seattle is not. Seattle is going to be where all of that shit fucking... I just think that if the Mariners win the World Series or go to the World Series, that somehow, some way, that celebration is going to turn into a fucking riot with those people. Because at least one person was killed in that autonomous zone or whatever. It's like super violent. Got a bad feeling about it. So just keep your eyes on that. I don't know when but I think like the end of October is probably when the World Series will go. Hopefully the Mariners, I don't know if they're going to make it or not, but I just have a weird feeling that these people are going to come out of nowhere in downtown Seattle during the World Series. This is Mark Carney. He is, I don't know who he is. He's the Canadian Council of Arts. I think he might be the Canadian Prime Minister now, this guy. But Trump is making fun of like trans, and one of his kids are trans.
We have no men and women's sports. Basic things. We're not going to take your child away and change the sex of your child. We're not going to do things like that. What they're doing to the country is so incredible. And they got away with it with all their woke crap. And now it's stopped. We have.
And it just made me think to myself, like, man, it's a tough one because, whether Trump knew that or not, because it says she apparently lives in Brooklyn now. I'm also curious why Carney's daughter would be eligible for taxpayer grants. It's just like a fact check thing, but it's true, I guess. I don't know if it was a boy that turned to a girl, maybe, or what. But I think this is going to be something that's a problem, where normal people are not okay with that. I'm one of those people that are not okay with it. Now, I'm not going to sit there and attack a trans person and be like, oh, you're disgusting and, you shouldn't be on earth. I'm not going to do that. But it's not going to stop me from having a conversation with people in, 99% of society about normal things. And one of those normal things is talking about how we do not like these laws about transgenderism and all that bullshit. It's just not what we want in our society. And it's going to offend a lot of people, including some of these fucking prime ministers and shit. And it is what it is. I'm sorry. You guys made the decision to do that. And I know people that have trans kids. So I don't know how that all plays out. Or if they lose it, will be an excuse to riot. Right. Either way, sweet tea. you know. I'm sorry, Trump. I need to put on a filter. He has no filter, Don. None. What are the odds Trump gets Canada to become the 51st state? I don't know if we would want that. We don't want, you know what? That's a trick. We don't want Canada at all, because look at the mass migration that Canada has, you know, and that's what Elon wants. Elon wants indentured servants. He wants, you know, and they're going to do it anyway. You know, India is coming to the United States. They're going to come here and double our population within the next 15 years. It's just a fact. India is on its way. They're showing up more and more and more and more every single day. And this is legal migration. So, Pagooch, you have my cell number. I agree. Yeah, definitely a trick. We do not want Canada at all. Those guys are a fucking shit show. They have nothing to offer us other than some energy, but they're so, you know what I mean? Like, we just don't, there's nothing for, they can stay where they're at. They're under the rule of Britain anyway, I believe, right? Let's see here. What's next? This is Bill Clinton campaigning for Kamala and Tim Walz last year. And he's given a speech on October 7th. Now, I don't know about you guys. I know no details about October 7th, other than apparently Hamas slaughtered some innocent Israelis. Is there even such a thing?
I understand why young Palestinian and Arab Americans in Michigan think too many people have died. I get that. But if you lived in one of those kibbutzim in Israel, right next to Gaza, where the people there were the most pro-friendship with Palestine, most pro-two-state solution of any of the Israeli communities, were the ones right next to Gaza. And Hamas butchered them. And so then the people who criticize it are essentially saying, yeah, but look how many people you've killed in Ritalin. So how many is enough for you to kill to punish them for the terrible things they did? That all sounds nice until you realize, what would you do if it was your family and you hadn't done anything but support a homeland for the Palestinians, and one day they come for you and slaughter the people in your village? You would say, well, you'll have to forgive me. I'm not keeping score that way. It isn't how many we've had to kill, because Hamas makes sure that they're shielded by civilians.
Now, I don't know what's more creepy, the fact that he says Hamas and not Hamas. I mean, I think 99.9999% of the people, including Hamas, say Hamas. And you have this documented pedophile say